I mean, I don't know, guys. Like, what sort of precedent does this set? You know, for a British Prime Minister, does this just mean like any time there's a scandal, any time they get themselves in some sort of trouble that they would rather the news cycle moved on from, they just pluck some sort of weird nostalgic thing out of the past that they think the plebby boomers would jump on board with, you know? And then despite the fact that anyone from that industry is like, no, we don't want this. And all of the polling is against it, by the way. They just go, yeah, we're going to see how this works out. Yeah, this is what we're exploring now. It's like why would you be exploring that thing? Well, because this is, it's just an idea that I had. I'm going to get a consultation underway. I mean, seriously, right, Rishi, all we said is that we've got Polaroids of you enjoying yourself with livestock. That's all we said. We haven't said that you're up to anything, up to no goods. We're just saying it's interesting. They're just interesting pictures. And would you like to comment? Well, no, let me tell you about this new idea that I've literally just come up with. I'm going to launch a consultation to see if we can dig up dead boomers who are more likely to vote Conservative, and then we'll allow their most close relatives to vote on their behalf, drag the corpse down to the voting booth, and you can vote on your father's behalf. Because he's sort of technically there. It'd be an honourable thing for you to do. You know, it's not fair that his life was taken from him before he had a chance to vote in this next general election. So how about that? Well, I think that sounds like pure insanity, Mr. Sunak. Well, I mean, it might be insanity. It might not make any sense whatsoever. But that is why we are putting it into consultation phase. You are out of your mind. Well, that may be. But it's not for you to say, Pippa Crerar of The Guardian. Is it? It's down to these consultants. Are you sure you got money? Are you sure you got the cash for that? I mean, it sounds like the Exchequer is a little bit hard up. Are you sure you got money to blow on more consultations, especially after the inquiry? I mean, that wasn't cheap. Yeah, well, we do now. I've just abracadabraed it out of nowhere. Always got money for consultants. Absolutely we do. Right, but I mean, Rish, just come here a second, mate. Like, you understand that digging up dead Tory voters and dragging them down to the voting booths like it's, 28 days later or some shit. Like, you understand how insane and gross that is, just so you can dig yourself out of whatever this scandal is with the Polaroids and the lifestyle. Yes, I understand that it looks bad, but also just hear me out, because actually, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. Really, not that bad. I mean, it sounds horrendous. I'm saying, in the grand scheme of things, Pippa. Is it still Pippa? Apparently. In the grand scheme of things, Pippa, I'm just saying, in context, it's not. How do you mean? How do you mean in context and in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad? It sounds horrendous. Right, I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, when I reintroduced child labour, oh my God, and debtor prisons, oh Christ. In the grand scheme, I mean, it doesn't look that bad, right? Jesus Christ, Sunak. This is like the very definition of a dead cat, really, isn't it? It's, they slam the dead cat on the table, then everyone's talking about the dead cat rather than the thing that was actually being discussed at the dinner party, is where the expression comes from, I gather. And here we are talking about imperial measurements and, or sticking with metric, as the case is now, because the consultation has finished. Rather than whatever the scandal was that week. And indeed, in this sort of very exaggerated example of Sunak reanimating Tory corpses, he would be talking about that rather than his scandal. And it's, that's the mechanism that they rely on, is that we're all so dim and so easily distracted that, yes, when somebody says, oh, imperial and metric, we go, huh? You said what about imperial? He said about ounces and blue passports. Good boy. Yeah, that's it. Ounces and blue passports. Here, have a cookie.